Hello and welcome to BBC News at 9 o'clock. Our main stories today. A large tsunami hits the east coast of Japan after an earthquake of 9 on the Richter scale triggered a tsunami 231 miles northeast of Tokyo at a depth of 15.2 miles. The damage caused at the moment was unexpected as the earthquake struck Japan at 2:46 p.m. We'll have more on this story in a few moments, but in other news, a woman in Lancashire in northwestern England has died as a result of messing with a ceiling fan. The incident happened when she stood up. She was so tall that she made contact with the polystyrene blades and killed her instantly. You can always catch up on our main headlines on our website www.bbc.co.uk/news. Now back to our main story. One of the most devastating earthquakes in the history of Japan has caused 30 feet tsunami, which has damaged several hundred miles of land in the east coast of Japan. We now go live to our Japan correspondent, Jack Fiedler, who is in central Tokyo. So, Jack, from being in Japan, are there any differences in Japan and what exactly are the details of the tsunami?
Here in Tokyo and throughout Japan, the atmosphere is very tense and many of the citizens are nervous about what could happen next. Never have the people of Tokyo and Japan experienced any disaster on this scale. As you see, the streets here in Tokyo are absolutely deserted, and that's due to the devastation that has been caused. Also, the amount of damage that has been caused by the tsunami that was caused is absolutely terrible. It's 6 o'clock here in the evening, here in Tokyo, but many of the usual lively streets are ridden with emergency personnel over there, who are trying desperately everything they can to make the streets safe.
At the moment, what are the statistics concerning the number of deaths that have been recorded so far? And if so, is this figure due to rise?
Have said that 350 people have been killed by the tsunami throughout Japan, and that around 500 people are missing. But many people believe that this horrific number is going to rise soon.
Although many fires have been caused by the earthquake, Tokyo has not been affected by the tsunami. But what can you tell us about the areas that have been flattened by the tsunami?
Devastation is clearly worse where the tsunami has hit, and this was mainly northeast of Tokyo. I reported from the air as I saw the disaster unfold in Sendai, a port town north of Tokyo. And in Sendai alone, between 200 and 300 bodies were found. It was such a horrific sight just to see people's homes being swept away, some of which the residents also spent time to build themselves. Also, the speed in which the water was flowing was just inescapable, and the fact that this water was to pick up anything in its path was atrocious. The problem was the fact that Sendai is also built on a flat plain, so this helped the tsunami to travel fast.
This earthquake, as well as the tsunami, has damaged so many utilities such as oil refineries and gas plants, as well as people's own homes and businesses. So is there any consequence of the people's way of living?
Life here in Japan has changed dramatically, particularly here on the island of Honshu, which the tsunami and earthquake has affected mainly. I mean, the homeless are now cramped into school halls and safe buildings in which they are only given rationed staple foods like rice and water, and they only possess a few blankets. These people could be living in these buildings for some time, as the devastation that has been caused leaves them with nothing. Also, gasoline sales here in Tokyo are now limited to 20 litres per car as a consequence of the many refineries that have been damaged.
As well as just damage caused by the tsunami, which at the moment is the most devastating part of the whole disaster, there is also now a nuclear emergency at the place on the east coast called Fukushima, where a large nuclear power plant has been damaged, and experts are now concerned that there might be radioactive materials being released from the facility. What are the details concerning this?
It was at 8:15 yesterday evening when an emergency was declared concerning the Fukushima Daiichi power plant, and this was declared the authorities thought about possible solutions into what could make this plant secure. It was then at 9:35 p.m. when the 4 other nuclear power plants that were closest to the epicentre of the earthquake were then shut down. This was due to the same concerns as the Fukushima plant. But then at 10:29 p.m. the same evening, that the cooling system at Fukushima was not working. This was declared by the authorities, and they also say that they are bracing for the worst. And because of this disaster, several thousands of residents within a 1.5 mile radius of the plant have been ordered to evacuate.
So what can you tell us about where you are at the moment?
Well, as you see, I'm now in an intact building here in Tokyo. I've just walked upstairs, which are literally almost damaged, but the actual structure of this building is very strong. In here, people are living, being fed, sleeping, and all of this is their makeshift homes for the moment. As you see, power has been supplied by emergency generators, but still some of the power is unable to come on due to the amount of power lines that have been damaged. And this is also part of the effect of the Fukushima disaster that's happened.
Well, it seems to have come to the end of the show today, so thank you very much for watching. We'll have more of the latest news headlines in the next half hour at 10 o'clock. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.